A's and the sub-B's, and then later grades. At a tender age of 14, she opens her eyes. She sees a flight attendant, whom we called air hostesses in Rhodesia. Then she says, when I grow up, I would like to be an air hostess. But it was all another color that time. Therefore, she meets people who say, hey, we have to stand up and move. The 14-year-old, 13-year-old at that time. She moves with the crowd to where the flame of the struggle was at the tender age, to fight for her right to become whatever she wished in life. When she gets there, she finds gender issues. There's just gender mainstreaming, side by side, boys and girls, men and women, political leaders, all male and female. It was a side-by-side issue. I think that became very easy for her. She went through the routines, the formations, and name it. She was one of the youngest women when they started a women's organization at that time, at that place, at Shai in Mozambique, which was called the Women's League, which well before Beijing platform stated the 12 areas of concern. There was Secretary for Education, Secretary for Information and Publicity, Secretary for Health, and name it. All areas of concern at Shai in the Women's League. I am talking about that girl who was born and bred, grew up in Magomoyo. 1980, she comes through the main entries, assembly point, like all of us, and finds offices that were pro that color. I won't say that color. She rises. She knows that I'm not in the bush. I have to get rid of the combat. I have to look like a madam. I have to do this. I have to go to school. Furthermore, from the Mtambara school which she went to. And after that, what does she do? She says, I am going for other education as well. There were night schools in Rhodesia, even in 1980. At independence, she does the same, and what have you, to remove the literacy lenses which were by the eyes. Little did she know that one day she will be in the Indaba room. Prior to that, Crown Plaza for her has a soft spot. In 1996, she became, in 1995, a member of parliament, and in 1996 launched an economic empowerment organization called the Women's Multi-Million-Dollar Round Table. I was just a rural lady officer escorting in Kwanda. And she calls and said, I'm Dex, come to the city. I said, but the buses have gone. He says, wake up, go to the next bus stop. I arrive in 1996. I find the same lady. You know, so sophisticated. And I was just trailing behind. No lipstick for Abigail. No gloss, you know, lipstick as well. I said, but who is she? She launches a multi-million-dollar round table. I look at her, I said, do we have that in the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe? She says, I am talking about empowerment. If you feel like a multi-million-dollar round table, you will do it. And in Zambia, they say you can did it. The multi-million-dollar wind taxis were launched just behind Crown Plaza in 1996 by a young lady who was empowered before the statement empowerment, before the policies of empowerment. That is the lady I'm talking about. Just set your eyes in front there. It's coming. And what did she do? She goes, she starts other organizations which are subsidiaries to the multi-million-dollar round table. That meant she had it in her. She did it in the city. She will do it today, tomorrow, and forever, until 2060. The lady I am talking about is our Honorable Minister, according to the powers vested in the executive of this country, in the likes of His Excellency, was appointed the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Gender and Community Development. None other than Nyasha Jonas Chikwina.
On gender and development that set out 28 substantive targets for achieving gender equality by 2015. This also includes the AU agenda, which says the Africa we want. Gender, it will be of gender equality and parity to ensure that we leave no one behind. In view of the above, the second National Gender Policy, NGP, replaces the first National Gender Policy of 2004, where it seeks to address the shortcomings of the 2004 National Gender Policy. Ladies and gentlemen, let me say the development of this policy is a result of extensive consultation and in-depth analysis of the situation by a number of stakeholders, which have been outlined here: the public and private sector, civic society organizations, church organizations, traditional leaders, UN agencies, development partners participated in the review process, and several other political parties were in their own right, politicians in their own right, and also parliaments and all other people who really wanted to be part of this. An interministerial committee made up of the gender focal persons from key ministries provided oversight guidance to the process. Special mention goes to UNDP for the financial and technical support it gave for this process to be a reality. Improving the status of women in Zimbabwe across the board has long been a priority for Zimbabwean government, and it is the reason why we have this gender equality, and that's the reason why we have a constitution that is gender sensitive, because it has been always the will of government. So the constitution of Zimbabwe is a deliberate effort by our government and by our president to put women on as equal partners in gender and the development programs of our nation. Kutoda, I've been listening to the UN representative here, UN Women, talk about those countries. Lady, let me tell you that there are countries without a single woman in parliament. There are countries really where they don't even talk about women. There are countries where women are a non-event except in church where they're asked to sing. There we are, we have got a very gender-sensitive constitution. And this has also brought about the change from that policy of 2004 to what we are talking about today. Improving the status of women in Zimbabwe across the board has I've already read this. This is what we are talking about. Now let me go to section 17 of the Constitution, number 1, which states that the state must promote full gender balance in Zimbabwean society. And in particular, the state must promote the full participation of women in all spheres of Zimbabwean society on the basis of equality with men. That's why I was saying to you, are you ready? Kumilana Baba. Are you ready? As we move towards, I can assume something finyama. Yes, just a leak. Wow, man, second rate, man. We ain't tambe audi. Kuto tambo kusimuka muno. We are tembere moko audi. Iyo shora. We are not talking about sensitive issues. As much as our government is pushing us, are we pushable? Are we able to deliver? Aren't we women who are then going to be used by our male counterparts still for their agenda? As the president is pushing us and wanting us to stand on our 2 feet, do we have the 2 feet? Do we have the spine, the ears, and the eyes, and the arms to walk with him? Are you bold enough? Beautiful enough? Blessed enough? Bankable enough? If you are, there we go with our policy. The revised gender policy seeks to achieve a gender-just society where women and men enjoy equality and equity and participate as equal partners in the development process of the country. The goal of the policy is to eradicate gender discrimination and inequalities in all spheres of life and development. The National Gender Policy therefore provides a new framework for gender equality and equity that has these details. Overarching principles, 10 priority thematic areas, policy objectives and strategies to achieve gender equality. It also defines the institutional arrangements through which the policy will be implemented and a framework of monitoring and evaluating the process and achievements of the policy. It has the following 10 thematic areas: gender, constitutional and legal rights, gender and economic empowerment, gender, political and decision making. It also has gender and health issues. It also has got areas that relate to gender education and training. It also got areas that relate to gender-based violence. And as the world quickly moves into a global village, it is important that our women and our people are ITC compatible. Issues of science, technology, education, STEM become of paramount importance. I was with my grandson who is 10 years old in the USA, and I was trying to look for something on the computer. Right. In the computer. Then the computer just went blank in my endeavor to look for what I was looking for. And they said, Isha, please come and help me. He was playing with toys somewhere there. I said, no, grandmother, I'm still busy. But I wanted really to go through. I said, please come and help me. So he came and saw the entire thing blank. I touched too many buttons. So he quickly went through it and got me to my program and looked at me and said, grandmother, these are not gadgets of your generation. Hey, I felt challenged. A whole government minister being challenged by a 9-year-old boy. Technology. Technology. Ladies and gentlemen, it's never too late. This is where the world is moving to, and if you don't move and run with the world, will be left behind. So no matter where you are and who you are, I think I'm going to be President Donald Trump on Twitter. I'm not Twitter, but I'm not Twitter. You will not Twitter. If there's somebody next to you who is unable to use the Twitter, no bad cereal. Help that person. And we are talking about, as we talk about gender-based violence, yes, this is a really one of the issues that we really have to battle to eradicate Some people say eliminate, some people reduce. I'm talking about eradication of gender-based violence. We cannot go further with this scourge. It's a devastating scourge that the world must deal with. I'm very clear to say, the Ministry of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, with the recommendations of this ministry, is in the process of finalizing the mandatory sentence for gender-based violence, in particular for rapists. Is Takangoti life in prison? Then, as we're going through it, right, life imprisonment, if you've got lawyers here, go into it closely. After about 12 years, if you've been given life imprisonment, Panetwaka review. So when I looked at it, and I took life imprisonment, so the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs brought it to us and said, this is it, yes, life imprisonment for the rapist. And then we looked at it closely and said, after 12 years, there's a review. So when I got no 30 years. So as we go through these things, let's look at the legal implications very closely. We may think life imprisonment is ensuring that he dies in jail, but the other issues it's talking about is gender, environment and climate change. Right. We are the ones that are affected by climate change when it happens. Now we are talking about firewood. Firewood is a danger. We are talking about afforestation, deforestation. It's also we are still cutting on firewood for cooking. And firewood firewood has got health hazards on us. It affects our lungs, our eyes, and everything on us. Why don't we move to renewable energy? And what are we doing about renewable energy as women? Why wouldn't we go to smart gas stoves, smart solar energy, smart biogas, which are also friendly to our environment? And we want to move with that. And these issues we're talking about were never there in 2014. Hence, a need to come up with this new policy. Gender in the media, this is another area of importance. Why? At times, right, we are not doing things that move with the current steam of the economy. But if you are in command agriculture, you're worth talking about. If you're talking about climate change and climate change mitigation measures, you're worth talking about. If you're talking about women's economic empowerment, you're worth talking about. Kana pari panhamo ndiwe namba okuchema azvinyoreki mupepa. Mainingi ndiwo chief mourner. Atinyori chief mourner for the funeral. We write hard stuff. Nevertheless, we want gender-sensitive media. All those issues that women are doing, but women who are doing beautiful stuff out there, they're not covered. We are also saying we now wanting to have magazines that talk about women's issues. UNDP, UN family. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about sensitization less and talk about progress more. Sensitize. Talk about issues that motivate other women to go working. Right? You already go with a majiras. Iwo futhi ndiwo unotanga hanzi nomwana imba tukanzi iwo shora. Right, let's move from that. Let's move from pull her down syndrome. Let's be glad to see other women move on and say it will be my turn. If you're unable to move in the sphere she's moving, move in your own sphere. Yeah. If you're unable to be a good farmer, be a good miner. If you're not able to be a good miner, be a good trader. If If I'm not able to be a good trader, be a good teacher, a good lecturer, a good preacher. We all have space in Zimbabwe and elsewhere. Gender and disability. We say disability is not inability. Let's move with the blind, let's move with the deaf, let's move with everybody else. Let's give them space that they can also occupy because they need that space. What they are is not what they wanted, but it's because that's how they were designed. It's source of those that were blessed. Let's bless others by equipping them with whatever they must have. And in this policy, that's coming out very loud and clear, so that we leave no one behind. Gender, culture, and religion. To eliminate all cultural, traditional, and religious beliefs and practices that invoke and perpetuate gender inequality. The national gender policy is critical for the following reasons. It will set out the government's gender equality priorities across the social, economic, and political spheres. It will build coherence among all stakeholders, including government, the private sector, labor, and civil society. It will also assist in securing the necessary resources to address the critical gender issues facing the nation. Government will also seek to prevent and address discrimination against any citizen on the basis of gender, and will mandate all public and private agencies to do the same. Once this is true, hakuna kamba noti madzimai squad. Hakuna institution zitaura kuti sizvemadzimai pana zvisati zvatiitira. Zvogosatiitira sei from all these universities. Zvogosatiitira sei with women zvakaita tosaita sei. Iwo pauri papatanga wazvinzwa. The first port of call is you. Yei tisimudzei. Iwe uri kumbosimuka here? Kumbosimuka here? Ima musogona kusimuka pamuri asi muda kusimudzwa. Dai hurumende yazoti iwe wamboitei. The issue here is stand up and be counted. This game is about counting men and women who are accountable in statistics. Atisiperinga mbele muswe. Tikakuerenga madzimai anyatsomira, achimbanya nebhora. Sakuenda 50-50. Takuona muparliament madzimai anotaura zvekutoti maiwe asi vane dhimoni. Hakuna zviri demonic but zviri progressive. This is what we are looking for. So as much as I'm very clear and know that our government supports us in this endeavor, we need to speak to our inner selves. That are we ready? Are we ready? Lastly, the Ministry of Women's Affairs, Gender and Community Development has the overall responsibility towards implementing this policy with all those that are here as our partners and agents. And as we move as the ministry, we are counting on you to ensure that this goal, this mass task we've said today, we are going to do it. I'm counting on you and any other woman out there who did not have the opportunity to be here, but those women that are outside of this room, to be part of this wagon as we liberate women, economically, financially, socially, spiritually, and otherwise. It is my sincere hope that the revised national gender policy will be a tool to close the gap on gender inequality. As I've said earlier on, as UN saying goes, this will ensure.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.